I think we've been validated in our concerns for terrorism and things and very bad, unscrupulous people coming across our border. But if we're not careful in our rhetoric and our frustrations, we are going to be very uncompassionate people. And we need to be careful with that. So as we are fighting and standing up for our freedoms and our country, we need to be very careful in how we talk about the border. And I caution you guys, especially as conservatives, and we want to fight against flat out open borders, especially the conservatives and libertarian minded individuals. And I get that there's a broad spectrum of people that when we're talking about these things, especially in my audience, because we have Christians, we have atheists, and so I see you and I hear you guys, but we need to also be compassionate people. And one of the things I say a whole lot is we are moral people and we stand for something or we stand for nothing. And when I say that, I define that as we're constitutionalists, we're originalists, but when we do that, we're like, yeah, but we need to be secure on our border and all of those good things. But one of the things in my past that I've done is I've worked actually with refugees. And so that changed my perspective in a sense where we need to be compassionate people. And I think that we're not being very compassionate for the people that are true refugees coming across our border. Like there are really, truly refugees coming across our border. And then there's really unscrupulous people taking advantage of the border situation. There are. And so I've always had this mind of we need to have this balance between that Ellis Island mentality, because that was a good time, but there is really bad players, and there's the administration that is flooding the system, and they have really bad intentions. We know that. And they are using the Marxist mentality, and going back to the Biden administration, we know that this uniparty progressive mindset that George Bush and Cheney took advantage of, and the Obama administration and Hillary and all these goons that have been a part of this yuckiness for a really long time. We know this, right? We know that this is their game, to flood the system, to overwhelm the system, and Biden administration's all a part of this. And Trump was a fly in the ointment of this long plan that they've had for years and years and years. We know this. Okay? So, let's get past all of that. And the open border just flooding and overwhelming the system, and them flying, and then they're putting the the illegal aliens, and putting them into planes and flying them all over to the purple districts, including mine. I'm in CD6 of Colorado. They're putting Afghan refugees and I don't know why I keep saying refugees, the illegal aliens, into purple districts in all of the states. Okay. So we know that that's what their plan is. And they're doing this because they actually still haven't even really released the full results of the census. And they're doing this because we know that they're trying to gain more seats, and they're trying to redistrict everything. And it's just evil what these guys are doing. Okay, so I'm laying the groundwork here, but because of this, us freedom-loving people are trying to fight these fronts, but we're losing the compassion game, because we are compassionate, but our frustration with this administration and frustration with these progressives and the open society and the Soroses of the world that are really turning the screws on every single level and every little thing that they're doing, we're losing sight of who we truly are. And remember, everything that I've said, we've got to be moral people who stand for something. Otherwise, we will stand for nothing. We've got to have that firm foundation of the Constitution and God. And if we stand for something, if we have that firm foundation, then we can be something, so that we can be compassionate people. Okay. So the work that I've done working with refugees really does make me be compassionate, even for the Haitians, the 15,000 people. Now those guys came from somewhere. It turns out, doing the research, that they had a camp set up in Mexico, and they were doing okay in the Mexican side. Now, clearly, this was an organized immigration. Now, they're here illegally, and the president of Mexico turned them loose into our side. And we need to, frankly, we need to dispel them, but we also need to be compassionate in how we do this. And the administration is not being compassionate. Let me say this. How we treat them while they're here, we need to take care of them as Americans, because we are not uncompassionate. Okay? We need to treat them well. We cannot, how they are being treated right now is not good. And I would say that if it was Trump, if this was Biden, we need to treat all people in this, we just do. There are clearly bad people taking advantage, whether it's drug lords or MS-13, or, clearly there's just really bad people. But there are illegal aliens that are trying to better themselves, that are doing it all the wrong way. I have really good personal friends that have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to immigrate here legally, that have green cards or whatever, and have spent 7 years trying to become naturalized citizens. They're doing it the right way. And then these people fleeing bad situations or whatever, or claiming asylum, that really might be doing things, or fleeing bad countries, are doing it the wrong way. And we need to send them back and say, we're very sorry. Do it the right way. What we need to do is compel Congress to change the system. Our immigration system is wrong. It just is. It should not cost $100,000 or more, and it should not take 7 years to become a naturalized citizen. It should not. And let me go back. Now, both parties are to blame, but frankly, it was the progressives that set us up that way. It really was. Almost all. And it, frankly, also, it was a very racist background to that, to hamper Cubans and other societies from immigrating into this society. It really was. Just go back and do the research. It was Democrats, once again, passing really racist laws. I'm just telling you, if you go back and look at almost all of the really racist laws, actually all of the racist laws, Jim Crow, redlining, KKK, everything throughout history, every racist law is 100% Democrat. It's just disgusting. But the progressives of today and the media just want to say that everything is Republican. I'm not even a Republican, folks, and I'm just saying this is disgusting. But we keep losing the narrative because we keep letting them win the war on these games, on these narrative games. Because you don't back down, or we back down and let them win and just punch back and call everybody racist. No, enough. We can be compassionate. We can show compassion. In fact, it is compassionate to send them back and say, this is wrong. Guess what? AOC is stupid. She is not being compassionate. We are going to treat you well, but it was their laws to begin with. We're just following their laws. We have to do this right. I am personally in favor of reforming all of these immigration laws. It should be shorter, and we need to do it the right way. We need to go through Congress, reform all of these laws, and they are racist, frankly. They are. They are racist, and they were put in by the Democrats. Let's be more compassionate. Let's treat them well while they're here, and then send them back and let them immigrate properly. But if sending them back to Haiti is a worse situation, we may have to keep them here until we can figure it out. Until they can go to a host country that's less, who knows? Maybe they have to stay here until they can immigrate. Might be more compassionate, frankly. Have to figure it out. This is not working, though. Oh, and by the way, the whole horseback bullcrap, that's been debunked. Not for that nonsense. That's stupid. All right, guys. Find me, Paul Procise, paulprocise.com, at Paul Procise everywhere. Follow me on Getter. Please, for the love of God, please stop following. I mean, you can follow me on Facebook. I mean, that's jumping off. Obviously, that's the biggest one. But please start following me on all the other social medias, Getter and all that kind of stuff. We've got to start following me on other places because I'm going to get banned on one of these other places. Follow me on YouTube. Yes. Follow me on Facebook. Yes. Follow me on Twitter, please. And Instagram. But please start following me on Getter. Please. Because you know I'm going to get banned on these other places. Go follow me on Getter at Paul Procise. All right.